Following the fall line, Need Essentials, Bryce Young, Opus, Vaughan. It hit hard. It hit very hard. And what a role the Need Essentials team is on. I feels like everything they put out is the most premium, heartfelt, earthcore, shreddery possible. And it's always got this kind of classic, very Need Essentials feel to it. You know, a kind of cosmic pastiche of old school countercultural values. And then this signature brand of surfing, which it's futuristic in ways, but it kind of reminds me of that quote of Derek Hind about Tom Curran in Searching for Tom Curran. You know, like classical lines just done well, done in a futuristic way, like done with more speed, flair, and grease than ever before on the kinds of equipment you didn't even know could be surfed like that. I'm thinking of Torrin and Ishka's film Thank You Mother.
Yep.
In like all-time J-Bay riding those 8-foot moat 20s going warp speed and putting together.
Yeah, I just put a clip up the other day of Torrin at Chopes. You saw that, on the 5.8 moat twin, like just fully packing, and just such a psycho tube and incredible positioning, unbelievable surf. But yeah, just it's kind of like they know exactly what their team is. They know the stories they like to tell. They know what interests them. Yeah, it's definitely got a good feel about it, doesn't it?
And they know what the audience wants, which is, you know, just new approaches, new aspects to surfing, sometimes forgotten aspects to surfing. And I guess what's interesting, just noting that Chopes clip of Toz and some of the other surfing he's done. I'm thinking of Shippies on, again, like a step-up 20. Just finding new positions to ride these waves that we've seen ridden to death. You know, how many more pits can we see stuffed at Chopes or Shippies or elsewhere? And yet with these tweaks to their equipment, they're able to find new entry points and get into strange positions and just make this wave look different by surfing it completely different, finding new lines.
Yep.
Postmodern surfing at its greatest. And yeah, I mean, the list goes on. The Lost Track series out of Need Essentials, really good. Full-blown slab fest. We had Laurie Towner dialing into the full gamut of Aussie slabs on that classic road trip with his family. Slow Lane, that one was called. And now Bryce Young riding A-Sims and all manner of unconventional but futuristically functional equipment to put together some of the most exhilarating surfing ever, it has to be said. You know, shades of Ethan Ewing, shades of Clay Marzo. It really reminded me of Clay Marzo at times, just in that otherworldly connection to the canvas and the ability to make the impossible seem easy, rhythmic, and in flow. Just an incredible surf film, man. And not many surf films make me feel anything these days in that performance realm. Like it's reached a bit of a, I don't know, there's a bit of monotony and banality to the typical surf film where 90% of it is pretty meh, and there's like a 10% that I find watchable.
Yeah. I guess like, surf films in general have kind of, they're passion projects that don't come along as often as they used to. You know, like you and I lived through, or maybe I'm even older. What have I got to do? 10 years or something? But anyway, like, you know, I grew up in surf movies on the big screen. Like they'd travel, they'd come through your town. You bought tickets. I saw Surfers the movie when it came out at the Bruns Picture House. And all down the line at Kempsey RSL, you know, like these were the only ways you could see these brand new films when they came out. And then it went to VHS, which was, you know, my first VHS I ever owned was a pirated copy of Filthy Habits that Matt Smith brought round one arvo because somehow we had a video cassette player. I got fucking no idea where that came from. Must have been backsheesh. Someone owed her a bit of money or something like that, Smithy. But yeah, so like, you know, the surf film, it went from just this one-off experience that you'd have with the whole tribe to watching it in your house with your best mates on VHS to, you know, basically just diminishing into little clips that you watch by yourself on a phone. So like, you know, the whole experience of watching a surf movie, it's not just about what you're watching, it's the way you're watching it. And now with these stories and these sorts of, you know, it's elevating back into storytelling, and especially with these sorts of characters that we're seeing, the more unique and the more original they are. Like Bryce, you know, I remember Navin Fox saying to me years ago when he was just a grommet, mate, you have got to keep an eye on this guy. Like, he's worth a story. Just blown away by the way that he surfed. Like, nothing else. Just going, you've got to see this kid. He fucking surfs Elias, he surfs twins, he surfs logs. He surfs them all, and he shapes a lot of them himself, and he's just a freak. And, yeah, sure enough, you know, he's been on a wild journey, because it's not just about Bryce, you know, it's about his name. His old man... It's beyond not needing an introduction, but Nat is not just, you know, a guy who was a child prodigy who became a world champion, who, you know, was just one of the most powerful figures in surfing for 4 or 5 decades, and an industry titan and just larger than life.
Male model, don't forget that.
Male model on the front of Vogue. Before he got his head just fucking caved in.
Oh, a couple of purple eggplants under the ice pockets. Are you kidding me?
But then, yeah, like Nat is just so wild, man. And you know, he was on the forefront of that country film movement. He was the first guy to like go, fuck, this whole comp scene, this whole corpo fucking pathway we're on. I'm off it.
I'm off it. I'm
and
just
up he
go
goes up the coast.
And swing it.
Up he goes up the coast to build his little, you know, hotel at Angari and live the dream. But no, you know, like, to be fair, you know, Bryce it's a lot of shadow to come out of, and to do it in the way that he's done it, and even the title of this film, Fall Line, is a full Nat philosophy. You know, he found that the purest line, whether it was surfing, skiing, he got wildly into, or
Bolivian ether wash,
was the fall line, mate. You know, like the basically the place that gives you the most speed, like the perfect position on the wave or the mountain or wherever. It's all about the fall line. That's where you got to be. And I love that nod there is there.
Yeah,
in the title of this.
The fall line is essentially. It's the descent from a high line. Is that correct?
Yeah,
it's like
that's right.
You get high, and in that moment that you are hugging that high line, generally, like, twin fins seem to be the best to kind of glue yourself to that top ridge of the wave. And in that kind of drifting, almost weightless feel, that is the fall line. And, man, those Elias too, far out when they're on a rail and in that part of the wave that Bryce is getting them, incredible. And the A-Sims, oh, man, it was an absolute smorgasbord of classical shreddery.
So right. It's just so fun to watch because it's so expressive, man. Like, you're not sort of, you're not caged in by the performance aspects of a shortboard thruster, which, you know, I remember Fanning saying to me once when I had to go on one of his boards in Bali during that Red Monkey Full Moon movie session. And I was riding just a little fish of his and I was loving it. And he goes, oh, let's swap boards. And I got on his board, could not ride it. Like, I hadn't ridden a modern shorty, let alone a fucking Formula One race car. And Mick was just like, mate, just surf it as hard as you can fucking surf it and it'll work. And that's what it was. Whereas, like, what Bryce is doing is just flow state surfing. Like, it's all about positioning and using the wave, not just like fucking using every sinew in your being and every part of your body to just get the thing to fucking move. It's actually about just perfect positioning and utilizing that power and harnessing it to do surfing that hasn't been done before. It's beautiful, mate.
It really is. He's kind of reaching new realms of high performance, rhythmic, flowy surfing. It's hard to kind of package that up and sell it to the masses. Hence why your Clay Marzos, your Dane Reynolds, your Bryce Youngs kind of tend to fade off into obscurity where they're only really known about by the core kind of hardcore surf aficionados. Really made me think too, watching the film, just how Bryce has managed to keep himself off the radar, you know, out of the public eye. Like, for a guy who's pretty well in the top handful of surfers on the planet, you see very little of him, hear very little from him. He's lived such a classical kind of country soul lifestyle really out there on the property. Where is it, like around Grafton or something before it fucking burnt down. Shaping his own boards, hanging out with your Ryan Birches and another in that category of cosmic core lords. Yeah. Just kind of whittle sticks and surf their fucking brains out. But yeah, he's remained such an unknown given how good he serves. And Nat Young too. Fuck, man. Guy's still ripping. Are you kidding me? I don't know how old Nat is these days, but man, he has not lost much touch.
Nah. And, you know, just on that little personal anecdote, I was surfing at...
Get back on protection, you mutt. Hey?
We'll bleep that.
We will bleep it, but it was bizarre, man. I was surfing out there. It was about, I'm going to call 8-foot sets, pretty solid. And it was just me, Nat, and Batty Trelaw, like when Batty was alive. I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting out there going, fuck, I've transported in the morning of the earth, man. I'm sitting out here with Nat Young, Batty Trelaw. They were on huge boards. It was a sort of a south swell, which isn't particularly on point for this particular wave, but it was just a mindgasm. Mind gone. Incredible. On your Batty.